Thank you. May be seated. Our very first speaker, Jeremy Gaul, he's a marketing strategist. He runs GetLeads.tech. It's an international marketing company. It's focused on lead generation, especially for small businesses. And he's been involved in this field ever since 1987. And he's been marketing and building businesses on the internet since '97. GetLeads.tech just hit a year old back in June, and he successfully helped other companies with their marketing. So let's give a warm welcome for Jeremy Gaul.
Hello, everybody. Thank you.
Sharpest dressed man in the building today.
I'm gonna try, right? Let's see. Right button. Let's see. All right. Thank you for coming. I'm going to talk about how to generate leads with your own automated system in 30 days or less without wasting time. It's different because I actually get results. It varies quite a bit with a lot of different types of lead generation systems, but the types of results I get are actual leads. These are ones that come in, they fill out a form, and they actually convert for my clients. It's very important to have a really good lead generation system for your business because it helps fill your pipeline and keeps your sales fresh. I guess it'd be the best word. It's not theory. I actually do a lot of advertising myself. I put thousands of dollars every month through advertising, and this is just a quick chart showing that periods of advertising I'm doing. When I turn it off, you can see when it's off and goes up. It doesn't have much more information on there other than basic lead input. So website leads that I do typically do are mortgage and industry, finance industry. These ones are, I've made over 260, 293. And my goal for this web class is the only way for you to exponentially grow your income is through mastering lead generation. It's one of the quickest ways of actually building your sales funnel that I know of. You can get leads in a lot of different other ways, but the only way to master lead generation is to discover the proven secrets to capture the best leads. Who is this for? Well, if you have a business that you're dependent on leads, typically that's looks like a mortgage business, finance business, any sales professional who's in outside sales typically lives off leads. And they typically have to run around quite a lot, chasing leads or generating their own. And they don't have a system that kind of backs them up with that. If you don't have a business yet, it's a good way of building your business. And if you require new sales to grow, if you're looking at, let's see, a new business that is just starting and you're kind of at a point where you want to grow, you have incoming sales, but you're at a flat line. New lead generation system will actually build your business. And how I really discovered this is I did it the hard way. And if you've been struggling, that's probably why. The hard way, which is the traditional advice, is post a website, people will come, right? So, I mean, if you've made a website, it's like a billboard. You post it out there, and hopefully people will show up, and hopefully your billboard's not in the middle of a field somewhere. Cold call everyone. Call your friends, call your family. That is a typical advice that comes in, especially for people who are fresh in business. And trust me, I've called my friends, called my family, really tried that quite a bit, and it doesn't work as well. Cold calls have really bad statistics. And hide in the closet and make more websites. That's what I did. I'm a techie, so I sat in the computer realm and just made more websites, trying to get things to go. And just focus on writing good content, and they will buy. That's the current advice that they have for social media, is write more content, post more content, people will show up, hopefully. It's a long-term strategy, for sure, but it is not something that will immediately get your info right there. The traditional advice is be yourself, count on referrals, opportunities are just luck. And I don't believe that. I think opportunities are made. I think that you have to do the work and really push for those referrals. Being yourself is a big key, but what's really important is that you kind of get out of being yourself. You have to be authentic of who you are, not just be yourself. And last thing, just practice and you'll get better. That's the hard way. I spent 30 years doing this, and I was doing websites in the early 2000s, and I built some successful businesses, but they were hit and miss, and I didn't have the key secrets for that. Plan B, website is not recommended or not needed. You can live without a website, even now. Everybody's telling you have to have a website. It's good advice, but it's not needed. You can live without it. You can market yourself by giving real value to your clients, and that's really, really key. If you're not giving good value, if your products aren't giving good value, you have to kind of reevaluate what you're working on. And making money is essential. You have to make money on what you're working on. And as I said, be authentic. Be who you are and how you're working on. Now, what I typically do is I build a funnel. A funnel is a very simple landing page. It is just basically 2 or 3 pages, and all they do is go to the offer page, go to the thank you page, and maybe have a product page for that. It's really simple, very quick to build, and have real automation backing you up behind that. Automation is auto replies to your emails, auto texting in some cases, auto messaging on Facebook. All these help build interaction with your customers. But you can't have just automation. You have to be keyed into your automation so that when someone replies, you can actually reply live. So, I mean, it's really important. Let's see, where are they? So the 3 secrets of proven lead generation, at least in my experience, has been secret number 1, most offers suck. And really, my offers suck for the longest time. And in some cases, I still make sucky offers. That's kind of how the businesses learn what is good and what is bad. If they are making a offer that is, say, for example, free website, what is coming with that website? Why would people get very suspicious about that kind of thing? So it has to be more than just a free website. It has to be more than just a free ebook. It has to be more than just a free video. You want to actually give them value. Why are they going to watch it? So, secret number 2, hardly anyone follows up with a lead. This is critical. Like, if you do not follow up with a lead, you're losing 80% of your business in the first 15 minutes. Right there. I don't know if anybody knows the statistics on this. Studies have been out there. Hundreds of thousands of people have been studied on this. And when you do not follow up on a lead within 15 minutes, you have an 80% chance of never contacting them at that point. They just disappear. And so then you're only working with 20% of your leads. And so that follow-up sequence is required to 10, 12 touches before you even contact them. So either manually or automation, follow-up is key. I kind of do a mix of automation and follow-up. So conversion can be simple. Your messages and conversations are key to conversions. Conversions is what happens when someone comes to your offer and they decide to buy. And so at that point, you really have to push what is going on with your conversation. You want them to be congruent, you want them to connect together. My offers sucked too until I found a good and proven community. These are some of my mentors who I've met, John Carlton, Joel Bauer, Jason McKim, and a group of people that I work directly with who was sitting at dinner with. These are all partners who helped me build my business. Who this works for? Business owners, agents, loan officers, service industry, authors, internet, a ton of people. Anyone who wants to own and scale their business. It really does work for anyone who's sales oriented. Number 2, either manually or automation, or follow up with either manual or automation follow up. Why follow up is key. If you don't follow up within the first 15 minutes, response rate drops 80%. Just flat out, just that bad. I usually follow up within a minute if someone submits a form. After initial contact, most leads require 12 to 14 touches, becomes qualified contact, and it takes an average 8 cold calls and 18 calls to actually connect with the buyer. These are all the statistics for all those. I'll kind of skip by them. Kind of a case study, Landmark Professional, 30-day campaign. I did a whole bunch of leads for them, 55% contact rate, 15% application rate, which is 3 times the average, for example. 105 leads in 30 days. for a group of people who are very busy. Each loan officer, 4 different loan officers are getting 4 leads on average a day. So your messages and conversations are key. Stories sell. After presentation, 63% of attendees remember stories. Only 5% remember statistics. So you really want to have a story behind what you're saying. Unfortunately, I have a lot of statistics in this because I rushed this, but hopefully you guys remember it. Videos about product features are the most popular, and human beings are natural storytellers. Making a video about your product is really key. However you're doing it, it works really effectively. How am I doing in time? 1 minute, okay. Build your story, selling points into a story, and then tell that tale. It's really simple. Now that you've learned about lead generation, and it can be simple with a good offer, and you have the knowledge of follow-up with a strategy is essential, and even convert your products, can you do this? Is this something you think you can do? It's actually really simple once you learn it, but if all I did was help you get past your fear and be congruent with your messages, would it be worth it? If I help you get past your online and offline issues with revenue, would it be worth it? And if I helped you enable one profitable lead funnel, would it be worth it for you? Thank you. That's my presentation. I have 30 seconds for questions.
How do you decide to charge by what metric?
How do I charge? I generally charge a flat fee, and then we decide what kind of advertising you want to do from that. So basically, I come in as a consultant. I either build it out for you or I do it for you and run everything for you in the background, saving you time and money in the whole process.
Hey, Ron.
There you go.
Okay, great job.
You can do it.
Ron, wrong click.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked different. Our second speaker, Dr. Maureen OConnor. She is a licensed naturopathic physician since 1996, passionate about educating people. She's guiding individuals to improve their sense of well-being. She has thorough and innovative health assessment, and she promotes healthy lifestyles. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Maureen OConnor.
Switch to the next slide, Ron.
I don't have PowerPoint. I'm just talking. I will put this chair out, maybe a little closer to everybody. So, I really am just going to tell you about my story a little bit today. And my mission is to help educate women about and help them move through the transformation of healing their lives into wholeness. And that's because of what I've gone through in my life. So at about 30 years old, I was working in a crime lab, lots of chemical exposure, but I got really sick, and nobody could tell me what was wrong. And I literally thought I was dying. I had a new infection every 2 weeks, and I couldn't get any answers. My dad was a doctor, and I just kept getting medications. I went to Kaiser, and I just kept getting medications. I wasn't waking up in the morning. I could barely get to work. I could barely make it home, and then I was back in bed. So I happened to have moved to San Diego and met a dentist there, and he gave me a sheet of paper, and it had all these symptoms on it. And I'm like, I have almost every symptom on this page. And he looked at me and said, well, you've been on antibiotics for 15 years straight without a break. I didn't know any better. My dad kept prescribing them, kept filling the prescription for my acne. And as a good girl, I followed directions and I took them. So I discovered that was number one, and then I had a mouthful of mercury. So that started me seeking alternatives and answers from conventional medicine because it wasn't working for me, even though that was my whole background and my whole family was well ingrained in it. So I learned about natural medicine. It was an alternative medical doctor, and he started me on the path to healing. Started to teach me about lifestyle and all of that. And then shortly I'm starting to feel better. I'm in a relationship, and that's going south. And I'm like, my boyfriend's like, well, let's take this self-development seminar. I'm like, well, I'm willing to try that because I really want to make this work. Even though deep down I think I knew that it wasn't going to, but it got me moving. And I started to learn not only is it the things I'm doing daily in my physical life, but what I'm thinking and my emotions are having an impact on what I've created. And not only currently, but from my childhood. And I didn't remember most of my childhood. I mean, I grew up in a family, we had everything we could want. We weren't lacking for anything, but I wasn't feeling the love I needed. And I had gotten a message that I wasn't good enough, and that I had to perform mentally, and I had to get good grades if I was to be loved. But I could never quite be the top. And even when I got to the top, something came in to pull me down. So I'm going through these seminars. My boss, I'm working at the crime lab for the Naval Investigative Service. I'm the #1 chemist in the whole system across the country. Only one who can ever identify every single unknown they sent through as a test sample. And my boss gives me this rave review. Hey, you're doing a great job. Everything's, I'm flying high. 2 weeks later, she walked out to the lab and she said, come into my office right now. What just happened? You have a little bit of time with tardiness, but I stay late. And she sat me down and said, if you don't shape up, I'm going to fire you right now. And I'm like, you just told me 2 weeks ago I was doing great. Now, integrity is very important to me. Doing a good job is very important to me. And that's what I was doing. I was fulfilling my job description. But this tore me down completely. It devastated me to the core. I didn't sleep for 3 days because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, how could this be? She hadn't communicated to me that she had an expectation that I was supposed to do these, I thought, were piddly little. I wanted to do research. I had tried that. It didn't work for me. She didn't communicate that to me. So because of that, I was going through these seminars, and I'm like talking to this new chemist who's just moved in from Hawaii. And he's like, my job's open in Hawaii. I'm like, I've always wanted to be in a warm climate. They're going to pay me to move there, and if I don't like it in 3 years, they'll move me back. I get a 20% cost of living, federally tax-free. Can I really turn it down? But I'm attached. I got this relationship we're trying to work out. But I took it, and I went into this next seminar, and I got the offer while I'm in this 5-day intensive seminar where you're dealing with all your emotional stuff from childhood. And I accepted it and had committed to their 3rd seminar. So I was in between. I moved out of my place. I'm moving to Hawaii. I'm at this 3rd seminar, which is really taking you through all your stuff for 7 days intensive. And I don't even have an address, which for me was the first time in my life. I'm Capricorn. I want to be grounded and solid on the ground. And I'm like, I don't have an address. I'm in between. But that took me to Hawaii. I met who would be my husband in the future shortly after that. He introduced me to a new spiritual path. I met a naturopath. I actually saw him for a year. I didn't know what a naturopath was. I've seen this guy for over a year. He's helping me tremendously. And I kept doing the self-development seminars. So I learned through all of this that there's this vital force that flows through us and that connects us to everything in the universe. I also stepped onto this new spiritual path, which just opened up doors. It's like, oh my gosh, that just makes so much sense. Why didn't anybody tell me that when I was a child? When I, was writing, mirror writing in 1st grade, kindergarten, 1st grade, and you would hold it up and you could read it in the mirror, and I didn't understand what that meant. And I'm in my 30s and I'm listening to somebody channeling, and he looks to the back of the room and like, what's that Tixie sign? I'm like, Tixie sign. Oh. I hadn't fully embodied. I was still seeing through my spiritual self when things look backwards there. So I discovered this whole new path. It brought me here after, of course, getting hit by a car while I was cycling and learning about chiropractic and massage, and then thinking I was pregnant and discovering a passion for natural childbirth and being able to change a child's whole life by how they're brought into the world. Got me here. Got through medical school, graduation day, feeling great. My husband turns to me, we're in the auditorium, so my job is done. And I'm like, you can't even give me my graduation day. It was one more time, I've made it to the top. My dad's there, they're recognizing finally that I've accomplished something great. Naturopathic medicine isn't a cult or some woo-woo medicine. And that, again, tore me down. And so I've been building up, and what it really came to was I had disconnected from my true self back when I was a child, because I bought into the socialization that I had to be something somebody else expected. I had to perform in school. You know, I had to do the job. I had to go into fields that weren't me. And so I've been doing energy healing for many years. It's been natural to me. It's been part of who I am even before I started medical school. And what we know is that we all have that inherent healing power within us. I call that vital force, and it enlivens us, and it connects us to everybody else. So I really want to help those women right now, especially in midlife, who have a lot of that programming, who are struggling with being heard because we learn to silence our voices, to not speak up for our true selves, and to be the quiet, at least in my life, quiet, good little girl, you know, and you help take care of everybody else, but who's taking care of me? I've got to take care of myself. So helping people learn about that self-care, saying yes to ourselves, learning to be heard, bringing our self-esteem and worthiness back up, not playing small anymore, and getting the clarity by reconnecting to our true inner selves, and I call her the wise woman. Wise woman is a healing tradition, but I think it also takes us back to that inner core, and it can be the wise man inside too. It's just right now that's the focus. And how can I help you clear those programmings, those blockages? They created things in our energy fields and in our subconscious. It's like cleaning out the hard drive on the computer, so that we're coming from our source and from our truth instead of from all these programmings. And so my goal with these new programs and working with people in a little different way is to help women gain that clarity so that they're reclaiming their voice, reconnecting to their true selves, and being able to move forward with ease. So if you know someone who is seeking answers, what is all this crap I'm going through? It's a hard time right now in the world, and people are struggling, and they're getting hit right and left with accidents, with illnesses, with deaths, with so many other things. And there's a way to grow through that and to enliven your lives despite the chaos that's spinning around us. We can become the center of the storm, that calm within, and really help to create joy, passion, and vitality in our lives despite what else is happening. Because it's all here for us, it's not happening to us. It's here for our own growth, and there's lessons in it. And I love to help people discover those and clear them and move forward. If I had time.
So you are focused on female, but could potentially work with male clients as well?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
many men feel that way too. There's really common conditions, but yeah, I have some children, I have some men, women. I'm going to be doing a group program which will be focused on women, but individually I can work with anybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maureen O'Connor. Thank you. Next, we got our third final speaker, Dan Mathews. He's been coaching full-time since 2010, and of course, as you may know, he's already focusing on long-term, lifelong transformation. He is empowering clients to take control of their lives and optimizing his health for 10 years. So let's have a good warm welcome for Mr. Dan Mathews.
Well, this is an exciting time for hopefully all of you today, and so I'm blessed and feel privileged to have the opportunity for a few minutes here to share what I do. And I told Jeremy earlier, I said this is like a mini coffee that you're having with all three of us. What I do with OptiBe and with my clients is that we offer them 4 components here. As you can see, it's the coaching, the community, the educational piece, Have to Help, and the fuelings. And the community can be in a variety of ways. This is community. A phone call is a community, coffee's community, but this is just one. And you've heard me advertise about Habits of Health or Health Hope Nights at our house for dinner. That's what one of those will look like that we've had in the past. In our 4-component system, what we offer people is we offer them the opportunity to create optimal health in their body, mind, and finances. And that looks different for every one of them. But when I'm working with a client, if they take all 4 parts of these, they'll have more predictable, if you've heard me say that in the past, predictable results. They'll have more, a better chance of having 100% or at least a more predictable results of what they're going to want to go for, their goals and their achievements, whether it's a healthy body, mind, or finances. So that's why we encourage them to use all four, because I'll tell you honestly, in the beginning when I started on the journey to become physically healthier, I was just focusing on the fueling and the coaching, and I didn't do the other part. But then I started doing the other part, the community and the education piece, and that's when, for myself, I had huge results and changes. And I'm going to share a little bit about the education piece that I learned today myself as I was studying again. What our clients get as we work with them is they get the priceless coaching. We don't call it free coaching because they don't pay for my services, but we call it priceless because of the value we offer and bring to them, because of what and supporting them to have and achieve their goals. And we encourage them not to look at just the goal. That's why it's lifelong. This is just the first mountain you're going to climb, then the next one you get to climb too and have a beautiful view of what's next in your life. And we give them guides and opportunities and options to pick from. Everyone's different. And so we always like to sit down and find out why they want to be in a better place. And then we'll share how and why, how and what that will take for them to accomplish that. The clients also follow a clinically proven and safe, effective program. And then the health system that helps them develop those healthy new habits that give them the predictable results. Because the education piece is huge, because that's where you really start working on this. Yes, the fuelings and the coaching help you. Most of the time, most of my clients come first wanting to lose weight, or at least get to a healthier place, whatever that looks like for them. But actually, when they start doing the educational part is when this starts changing, because also they have better sleep, they learn how to eat correctly, they know how to drink water, maybe have motion. The relationships, it's huge. You know, if we're like Dr. Maureen, you were sharing, if we have anywhere from poor to bad or worse environment that we're involved in with friends or family, you're always under stress and things aren't right. So we try to encourage them to work on how they can improve that. Like someone told me one time, you might have to divorce some of the people in your life. Some might be family, some might be friends, but to become a better you, there's things that we encourage them and offer ideas for them to work on. Clients I work with, they end up creating more energy in their life, and that could come because of what they're fueling their body with. A lot of times the way I've eaten in the past, I was fueling it with very unhealthy foods that would, I didn't realize the side effects. And so they have more energy, and then sleep. There's just a variety of things. It depends on what they want to work on. They feel better, they look better, and they sleep better. It's like this weekend, one night I had lousy sleep, lousy. And it was my choice. It wasn't anyone's fault. It wasn't because I just couldn't sleep. I just didn't go to bed soon enough, and I had to get up early. But then the last couple of days, I had great sleep, and I'm using our full program to lose some weight. And I woke up today, I was down 1.5 pounds. Why? Because I followed the program, got my sleep, ate right, and so stuff like that. Also enjoy a healthier mindset. There's such a variety of things that help. Like I said, the people you hang out with, what you put in your mouth, the sleep you have, the water you drink, the exercise or motion that you do. People have a healthier mindset because they start feeling better and they're excited about the future and what it brings for them. And then they also enjoy that lasting transformation. Like I said, we don't coach or support or encourage them to reach a goal. That's just a stepping stone to the next goal. And then what can you do more and build on that? And it can be in a variety of different ways of what it looks like and what they're looking to accomplish or discover. 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, I had no idea I enjoyed biking. Now, if you follow me on Facebook or talk to me, you know that biking's my #1 thing I love to do as far as activity or motion. I do other exercises in motion, but biking's number 1 plus. How do you do it? It's not 100, it's like 100 plus. I just really enjoy biking. Yeah, it's a 10, yeah. It's the best for me. And then I also, what's best about it, see, it helps my mindset, helps me do meditating, helps me enjoy it with my grandson and then friends. And my wife, she's not biking right now because she's got an injury, but we're enjoying it together. I told you about the educational piece. This is what people get when they use our transformational systems. They get the life book, Dr. A's Habit Health book, and an app that is a tool to help in the whole transformation. And I'm going to share something I learned from the life book today that as I was studying this morning. When people are creating that healthier lifestyle, they create that optimal well-being, and that journey is continually on the upgoing. And that's not always like, all right, I got to climb another hill. I get to climb another hill. I get to go after the next goal. I get to add something more to my lifestyle. And this is what we help them do. And then some people, they are so excited about what the community, the support, the education that I gave them, that's supporting them, is they want to become coaches too. And these are some of the benefits they get in becoming coaches. And one of the things at the bottom I just want to hit on is it creates a ripple effect. Because now, my wife and I, we've helped our family get healthier. Her mom had used our program and lost 60 pounds, and then had a stroke here about 3 years ago. The doctor said she would have been in the worst shape she was. You almost can't even tell she had a stroke now. But the doctor said if she wasn't as healthy as she was, her stroke would have been a lot worse. So we were so thankful for that. So the ripple effect, you never know where that ripple's going to go, and that's what's exciting. I was just going to show a little bit about my wife and I's, our journey. You can see our before and after pictures there, but also you get to see the activities we get to do. And as you can see down there is my grandson and I doing the Portland Bridge pedal. My wife and I, we were with about 8 people there, and that out the Tree to Tree Adventure Park out in Gaston, Oregon way. And so just things that we get to do now that we didn't ever think was possible. You also get to have different color hair.
Is that the same lady? It is, I guess.
You look good, man.
You also get to go to Florida and stand on my friend's patio and work out. And, you know, who wouldn't like to work out in a place like that? And I was going to show you a picture of me with a tan with the shirt off, but I thought, no, I won't show you that. I caught myself on the roof one day doing cleaning gutter stuff, and it was really hot out. And I thought, I'm up here with my t-shirt off. I've never done that since playing basketball, and I just don't do it. For one, I didn't like the way I looked, and two, it just, and I did. So your life changes. Why? Because your mindset changes and improves and cleans out some of the stuff, like you were saying, Dr. Maureen, some of the garbage it gets rid of, and you find out you are worth and you are valuable and important. So I just want to share a little bit of my wife and I's journey. The thing I got today that I want to share with you is a tool I want you to take away from here that you can use in any part of your life today and this week. Is this, when you come out upon something, normally what this is really good for most of the time is when someone maybe takes that parking spot that you want. Maybe you're choosing what dessert or what not, what kind of dessert to have or not to have. You name it. It's something that maybe sets you off in what we would call below the line thinking, stinking thinking. So I want to give you a tool to use that stop, challenge, and choose, and this is why. It helps keep your thinking brain as your guide versus your reaction brain as your emotion. Example, you might go out and want to offer an offer to a client, and they just chew you up because they didn't like what it said. Well, your first thought was, it's the best thing out there. Why are you talking to me like that? Just, whatever. Well, that could have lost a sale, or you could maybe listen to them and think about where they're coming from, and maybe you didn't explain it right, or maybe they had a question that, and so this was just, it applies anywhere in your life that you could use, and maybe when you have one of those moments today as you're leaving here and someone cuts you off as you're driving, you stop, challenge, and choose the better way to react, and who knows, maybe they're on the way to the hospital to give birth to a baby, I don't know, so I just want to give you that as a takeaway. Oops. Oh. Any questions? That's my last slide, I should have known it. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you so much, all 3 of you. I hope this was fun for you all to be able to have like a mini coffee with the 3 of us. And then we're going to also do it in the future. We've got another one scheduled in December. So think about if you'd like to do a 5 to 10 minute presentation on just what you do. Because an elevator speech doesn't give you enough time to really tell you what to do. And even like the 3 of us were saying, 5 and 10 minutes doesn't really do it, but it does give you a good window into what we do, and we'd love to do the same for you in the future. As I said, we have 3 more coming up in December. So now it's your chance to be able to do that, 15 to 17 second here.